The only memorable thing about this movie is that Chris Brown died within the first 12 minutes of it. And that's because that's the only thing y'all talk about from this movie that came out over 10 years ago. And I blame you, Tariq, for why this is the only thing people remember out this movie. Dance movies are now extremely corny to me. I don't find them interesting anymore. I just get a lot of secondhand embarrassment from when I watch them. Sarah literally could have had a criminal record like you did. But because she was fine, you let it slide. Okay, DJ. Okay, DJ. It also really proved that men are extremely messy, okay? Y'all like to talk about how girls like to pick fights and do that and that and that. This movie is literally just men screaming and hollering and pushing each other around, okay? I was 14, and ever since then, I told myself I never wanted to watch Stomp the Yard ever again because I've seen it so many freaking times. I never wanted to see it ever again. Who's there creeping in my window? Who's there creeping in my window? This movie was so lame. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. I hope I can get through this video without laughing because the emotional and childhood connection I have to this film is weird. I can explain. Hello. Welcome to the pirate ship, Harry Hook's pirate ship. I don't know what you're in for, but you're in for something. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. Watch your place. Hello everybody, if you're new here, my name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and children's and family entertainment and all the issues that I find within that. Today, we are not going to be talking about family or children's entertainment. We're just going to be talking about something strictly based on nostalgia. So that's going to be really fun because I don't really talk about a lot of adult content on this channel. So today we finally get to do that, and yeah, because
commercial break.
before we can move on, you guys know we have to do my little commercials. Please go support me on Patreon. I like to make a lot of exclusive behind the scenes videos of what I do, what's going on with my web series and whatnot. Exclusive videos where I talk about mainstream content, more adult like content over on Patreon. So if you are interested in that, please go check me out. You also get access to my Discord. You get a free charm bracelet when you join. It's real cute over there. It's positive vibes over there on the harbor. We call the Patreon the harbor. And also, please, I am in the process of making a web series called The Progenies. It is based off the Descendants movies and books, and we really wanted to be successful, and it will be successful. We're speaking that into existence. We need donations. Any little bit would help. Please donate to The Progenies if you can. We have our donation link down below. And watching this video is a donation, so thank you. Thank you. When you support harriyannahook, you support The Progenies. People tend to think that I only watch kids stuff because of what I talk about on this channel, and no. Y'all, like, I function like an actual adult. A lot of people think that because I really only watch cartoons and R-rated movies. Like, y'all, I watch cartoons and R-rated and PG-13 movies. That's really kind of all of what I watch in Disney Channel shows for some reason. It's kind of weird. Now, a strange thing about this is that Stomp the Yard is actually a big part of my childhood. Shocker, I know, but I used to go to this cheer camp and after school cheerleader program from the age of about 6 years old to when I was 18 when I graduated high school, but I stopped going to the summer camp because I aged out after the age of 14. And we watched Stomp the Yard a lot. Y'all, I have so many horror stories from that place. Like, one day I'm just gonna sit down and like go on Patreon and just tell all my cheer camp horror stories. I might do it on the podcast. I'm trying to decide where I want to do that at though. Because that place ruined me, but it made me the person I am today. I would not be harriyannahook today if it was not for that place. Will I be better off if I didn't go there? Who knows? Who knows? Now you're probably wondering why a little elementary school age girl has seen Stomp the Yard so many times. So, most of the girls that worked there, the counselors that worked at this summer camp and after school program, were teenage girls. So we kind of had to watch what they wanted, and they wanted to watch Stomp the Yard all the time. From the age of about 8 years old, from when the movie came out, to when I was about 14, that was like my last year of summer camp. And then I probably saw it a few more years after that when I was going after school care. I've probably seen this movie about 12 times in that time span. Probably seen that movie in 12 times. The last time I watched it in full, I was 14. And ever since then, I told myself I never wanted to watch Stomp the Yard ever again because I've seen it so many freaking times. I never wanted to see it ever again. And today I rewatched Stomp the Yard and I was so freaking tired of that movie. That's why it was kind of like a drag for me to finally get up today and watched it. And I just clicked it on and
read the script. I was like, wow, I see so much potential in the script and where it can go, and I wanted to tackle it. I felt like I can bring this character to life.
You know, I thought it was just a dance movie. I didn't know that the movie had so much heart and had such a great storyline, and the characters were just so incredible. And I was just like, well, I've already done You Got Served. And he was like, just read it.
Y'all, I don't remember this movie being this bad. I don't. And I will get into why I think it's terrible. Rewatching Stomp the Yard as an adult, I have a completely different perspective on it now that I'm grown than I did when I was a kid. Because also, y'all, please be mindful that these are just my opinions. If you like Stomp the Yard, go ahead and like it. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't dislike. I'm just here expressing my opinions and my thoughts. And just because I think something is bad doesn't mean that I dislike it. I talk about bad stuff on this channel all the time that I like. But that just because I like it doesn't take away from it being terrible. Okay? Stomp the Yard is a bad movie, and I will tell you why. Somebody that likes a lot of bad stuff, I feel like I can talk about a bad movie. So, I used to love dance movies, like growing up. Like, I used to have like a really big passion for dance. I wanted to be a professional dancer at one point. I wanted to be a choreographer. Now that I've gotten older and I've aged out and I lost my passion for it, dance movies are now extremely corny to me. I don't find them interesting anymore. I just get a lot of secondhand embarrassment from when I watch them, especially during the audition scene from Saving the Last Dance. I find dance movies very, very corny, and that's what Stomp the Yard is, corny. But I don't find step teams interesting anymore like I did when I was a kid. I don't know. Once I got to high school and I saw stepping, like college stepping and whatnot, I don't know. It did nothing for me. When I was a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then as soon as I got to high school, I was like, okay. I'm gonna give too much away. Like y'all know how I do with my little ghetto movie reviews, where not really ghetto movie reviews, my ghetto TV reviews, because this is actually the first movie review I've done since I changed my entire new format. But y'all know how it is. I don't like to give too much away, but I like to talk about like the main key points that I think need to be pointed out. I have to talk about the way this movie opens up. It is so chaotic. Like, what? Why are they in a dance battle with dogs and everybody's screaming and hollering? Why are there dogs in a dance battle? Dogs shouldn't be in that environment. Everybody's screaming, everybody crumping, and I'm just sitting here like confused, like what is going on? The filter is really ugly. Everybody bouncing on their head. Everybody screaming and jumping around, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what I'm watching. I have no idea what I'm watching, and apparently this took place in LA. I had no idea the beginning of this movie took place in Los Angeles until I rewatched it today. I had no idea. I just thought it took place in Atlanta the entire time, but okay. And it turns out, like, with all this going on, it's a dance battle. It's a dance battle, and they're betting money and whatnot, and I'm just like, dance movies are so corny. Like, is it ever that serious, y'all? Is it ever that serious? Y'all, if you ever been like in a dance crew and whatnot, did y'all ever really used to do dance battles like this and like fields and little lawns and things like that. Like, I find it very, very strange. Even as a kid, I hated this scene. It was just so freaking frustrating to watch because I was just like, all of this was twerking. Everybody was all over the place. I don't like this scene whatsoever, and I hated it now that I rewatched it, and I really wanted to fast forward it, but no, I want to give y'all the more authentic case. And then you all know what happens next. Chris Brown dies. Yeah. And then he moves to Atlanta. DJ moves to Atlanta, his brother, because apparently Chris Brown was his brother. They kind of didn't really make that too clear because it was so chaotic in the dance battle. So he moves to Atlanta so he can go to college, and he didn't want to go to college and he wanted to leave, but his family told him, if you're going to stay here, you got to go to college, which was reasonable. Throughout the movie, DJ falls for a girl named April. Not throughout the movie. He falls for her pretty early on. I'd say about 25 minutes in. And it is the creepiest thing ever. He literally is in line for college trying to register for his classes. And he sees her drinking a sip of water from the water fountain. I don't understand how he picked her out all of those people in there. It was so many freaking people in there, and he just so happened to look over and saw her taking a sip from the water fountain. I know good and well if I see somebody drinking water from the water fountain, I'm not paying no attention to them. If I'm at college orientation, I'm not here to try to get my stuff smashed. I'm just trying to go. I'm just trying to get my class registered and go. Like, I don't, nah. And he's just trying to get her attention. Like, you know nothing about this girl. You just think she's pretty. You just kind of want to beat your meat off to her. And you go after her. Oh, okay. He yells his roommate. Huh? I ain't gonna lie. Neo is actually one of the better things about this movie. I enjoyed his character. I just forgot he was there because he only had about like 5 lines out of this entire film. Neo deserved a better movie debut, okay? He did. This movie is super melodramatic for no reason. Like, everything is like over exaggerated. Everybody's just overreacting to everything. Like, it's never that serious. It's not. It's literally just college. College is not this serious, y'all. Just breathe. Just breathe. I feel like because I am a theater major, literally I don't care about any of things that has to do with frats and sororities and college and the college life and the Greek life and all that stuff. I really don't care, and I really think it has to do with me being a performing arts major. It just never drew my attention. It drew my attention when I was younger. I will get into that later, but at this stage in my life, it doesn't interest me. So me watching this movie now, it did nothing. I'm sorry, but like Columbus Short, who plays DJ in this movie, he's one of the most boring actors ever. He only has like 2 facial expressions. He only has 2 expressions in general. He's either sad or he's angry. And when he's angry, it was really hard to buy it because he made like 2 faces throughout the whole movie, so I didn't know if he was sad, happy, angry. I legit could not tell with this actor because he was extremely boring. And I'm not saying that he was a bad actor. He kind of was. I don't like calling people bad actors because it's like actor to actor. I understand, but it didn't do nothing for me. It just wasn't there for me. I just wasn't feeling it. And him and Megan Good, like, I'm sorry, they had no chemistry in this movie. April is played by Megan Good, by the way. He has no chemistry with her in this movie whatsoever. It's just not it. I'm sorry. It's just not it. Said earlier, as somebody that is a college kid now, I don't find the entire Greek life thing interesting, and that didn't really interest him too much in the beginning of the movie until he realized that they dance. And it was kind of weird because you know how in the movies where they're like, I'm never gonna dance again because they remind me of somebody. It's kind of like that kind of vibe I was getting from him. Dancing reminded him of his brother, and that's the reason why he joined the frat, so he could dance. Like, he gets into it multiple different times dancing. Like, okay. This movie also really proved that men are extremely messy, okay? Y'all like to talk about how girls like to pick fights and do that and that and that. This movie is literally just men screaming and hollering and pushing each other around, okay? It's literally boys fighting, okay? Men being messy, like, people be trying to say that girls are way more messier than boys. No, this movie right here, Stomp the Yard, proved that boys are petty. Boys are super duper petty, okay? And this movie proved it. Why is the school called Truth University? Like, do not make Atlanta look bad. We got enough, like, bad rep as it is, and this movie just makes it worse. Like, why is it called Truth University? That literally is one of the worst fake school names I've ever heard. Like, y'all could have came up with something a little bit more, like, unique. Like, at least Atlanta A&T and Drumline, that sounded like a real school. I thought Atlanta A&T was a real school until somebody told me when I got older. I was like, oh, I am boo-boo-foo. College is nothing like Stomp the Yard, okay? That's just another big issue I just had with this movie. I feel like my lip gloss is starting to fade away. I want more lip gloss on. Hold up. But like my main issue with like Stomp the Yard is that like not really just Stomp the Yard, but like college movies in general, because y'all like to complain about how so much stuff takes place in high school and not enough stuff takes place in college. But a lot of what does take place in college is actually very, very, very unrealistic, okay? It's really not that great. When we watch stuff that takes place in high school or even middle school, it's realistic to a certain extent, okay? We can relate to some kind of aspects, okay, about when a lot of shows take place in high school. I know a lot of y'all do give high school shows slack because you guys feel like they're very oversaturated at the moment, but they're relatable. These college movies and these college shows, I'm not feeling it. I'm really not getting it whatsoever. I don't care what nobody say. Grownish is not realistic. I'm sorry. It's just not. Grownish does nothing for me. A lot of y'all want me to make a video about Grownish and what my thoughts and opinions are on it, because I think it's very, very trash. And literally every YouTube video with a black girl dragging Grownish said what I need to say it. I'm sorry. There's no point for me to make that Grownish video, y'all. I'm sorry. I want to know the reason why I think Hollywood never shows the realistic side of what college is actually like. Because it's actually really not that interesting. High school is way more interesting than college. I'm just like, that's just my unpopular opinion, probably because of where I am in my life, because college is realistically kids crying in their dorms, trying to get their homework submitted at 11:59 a.m. and running off of Capri Suns, Cuties, and Hot Pockets. That's what college is. We're working a job we hate so we can have money to do whatever. Partying is not that interesting, okay? A lot of us don't care to do it. Okay? College life, it's very, very dull. It's not that interesting as everyone makes it out to be. It's only thing interesting about it is that you really don't have your parents telling you what to do, and that sometimes that's not even the case. But for the most part, college life is not that entertaining, especially if you don't care too much to be around people and whatnot. You just there to get your education and go. Yeah, you're not looking for romance or anything like that, because a lot of people do call it college for romance, and I have some words to say about that. College is not that great. It's not that interesting to show on television, okay? Unless you're doing something outside of school, or if you're in a club or things like that, it's not all that. College also is when a lot of our mental health starts to cripple, so yeah, you know, Hollywood don't want to show, like, the realistic side of what mental breakdowns look like, okay? Because they don't think it's interesting. Y'all know how Hollywood is. It's just one particular scene in this movie that really got on my nerves is when they were in the library and they were speaking in their, like, outdoor voices. Not even really their outdoor voices, in their regular voices in the library. And I was like, you cannot do that. Like, you literally will get shushed or kicked out. Like, I literally was in the library one morning doing my homework before my class, and the girl was on the phone loud as ever, and the librarian literally walked from the front to the back and told her to hang up her phone or she can get out. Like, you can't be loud in a college library. You can get away with that in a middle school library, in an elementary school library, in a high school library, but in a college library, they do not play about that, because people actually go to the library to get their work done. Okay, I don't know. I know I sound like I'm doing too much going off about the library situation, but that really made me angry, because I hate when I'm in the library trying to get my work done and do what I need to do, and people come in there being loud. And it makes me happy when I see other people shushing them and when the librarian shushes them. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably overreacting about this entire library thing, no, but that made me mad. I'm sorry. Y'all know how I am. I do the most. I don't care. A good aspect about this movie is that the soundtrack slaps. It still goes really, really hard to this day. I do appreciate this movie's soundtrack. It go hard. To be honest, the soundtrack is kind of what like helped the pacing for it, because this movie felt really quiet. Did anybody else notice that when they watched this? The movie felt a little too quiet. Like, I had a hard time hearing what everybody was saying unless when they were screaming. And there was a lot of hollering in this movie. The boys. The movie is just fine black men dancing and a very, very boring romance story. That's just to sum up Stomp the Yard. This movie is also very misogynistic, but I will get more into that in detail when we get into character talk, as you guys know that it's my favorite part of when I do these reviews. I don't like how they were treating Megan Good's character as a prize, okay? Like, they literally were just trying to win her over. Like, the rival frat wanted her, their leader wanted her, he wanted her. It was weird. I feel like they were really just fighting over her. And it's also just really, really creepy, like I mentioned earlier, how he knew nothing about her and he just wanted her because she was pretty. And I was like, that girl could have had bad credit and she could have been a gold digger, but you still wanted her because she was fine, okay? Okay, DJ. Okay, DJ. Girl literally could have had a criminal record like you did, but because she was fine, you let it slide. Okay, DJ. And I don't like how he was being so creepy towards her in like the first third of the movie and she still got with him. I was just like, if a man is trying to do all that to get my attention, it turns me off. It really turns me off. Not on. The opposite of on, off. Nah. I'm gonna get into character talk. You guys know character talk is my favorite part of these videos. Character talk not gonna be the same for this. We literally only got like character talk for 3 characters because you want to know why? Literally almost all the boys, all the men in this movie are like copies of each other. Like, it's so hard to tell them apart. I forgot names so easily. I literally had to go to Wikipedia to look up a whole bunch of people's names because I forgot them. And they acted too much alike. I forgot the other frat leader's name. Like, he was fine. He was fine. I don't know his name. He didn't really contribute much to the plot. I don't know. First, we're gonna have to talk about Chris Brown. He was DJ's brother, and he died. Next! Yeah, we're talking about DJ. DJ is, you know, a soft boy with a troubled past. His brother passed away in a shooting, and the dude got off easy. They never really explained that. This movie was really kind of hard to follow. I feel like if I haven't watched this movie probably like 14 times in my life, I wouldn't have got the entire thing about him getting kicked out of college. Like, this movie was really, really hard to follow. Anyway, back to DJ. Attitude problem. He has a really, really big attitude problem, and it was kind of hard to tell because, like I said, Columbus Short is not the best actor. You dance, stick to dancing, sir. The main character of this movie, but he could not carry it whatsoever. He could not, because he was just such, like, it's one thing about being a boring character, it's one thing about being just a boring actor. I couldn't do it. Like Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria. I'm not a Euphoria fan. Cassie had the most boring character to me, but Sydney Sweeney made it work, okay? She made it work. Shout out to Sydney Sweeney. Like, every single last character in this movie, even Chris Brown when he died in the first 12 minutes, outshined him. Like, he was just that dull to me. And the thing about it is that him being boring, he wasn't even likable. He was a sad boy with a troubled past. His brother dead. He had to move to a whole new city across the nation. He didn't want to go to college. Everybody was getting on his nerves. He was trying too hard to be a loner, and it wasn't working. His roommate got on his nerves. This boy was just going through it. But I couldn't tell because he made the same 2 faces the entire movie. Like, the girl he wanted to be with, people didn't want to see them together. Somebody played that Nobody Want to See Us Together song by Akon. Don't Matter by Akon. Play right now, please. To Bob. They should have put that in the movie. I'm pretty sure that song was out by the time this movie came out. Most talented stepper and dancer on the team, I guess. One thing about all these little dance movies is that why do they make it seem like kids that grew up in the hood were the best dancers? And let's just be realistic here. That's just not the case because of capitalism, okay? Kids whose parents had money were the best dancers because they were able to afford the most lessons. They were able to afford the most best teachers. Okay, let's just be real. The kids with the most money were the ones that were the best dancers. Okay, let's just be realistic here. Okay, it's a movie. I understand it's not supposed to be realistic. Okay, but Stomp the Yard is a bad movie, and I think I can drag it because of that. So, and he's also really creepy. The first third of the movie is just him stalking April and trying to do everything to get her attention. And he eventually did get it, which I don't approve of. Yeah, that's DJ. Movie really tried to play it off like he was a good guy when he really was not. Like, I felt nothing when he got kicked out of school. Well, suspended for the rest of the semester. Not the semester, the school year. I felt nothing when that happened. I was just like, y'all trying to paint this dude as a good guy. And he's just really not. It's just not convincing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just not on his side. I like to pick a lot of fights, too. And, like, a lot of the little altercations that he got into, he put himself in that spot. So, yeah. DJ gets nothing from me. Next we have April. I'm sorry, y'all. This character did nothing for me. She was just there. She was pretty. Her hair was nice. Her nails were cute. Her clothes were cute sometimes. You know how early 2000s fashion be. Her only personality trait was that she looked good. And that her boyfriend was a guy that everybody on campus wanted to date. She had a horrible best friend, by the way, talking about, he's the guy that everybody wants, girl. I'm just like, no, I'm not about to, I'll get into him later. We're not talking about him yet, but like, sis, no. And I'm glad that girl never came back again in the movie because she was terrible. Look, I'm not trying to say that Megan Good is a bad actor because I've seen Megan Good act in like a whole bunch of other movies and she's amazing. But here, her performance here was just very lackluster, and I really just think it had to do with the character because it was just so dull. There was nothing really interesting about her. She was just there to be eye candy and that's it. Nothing interesting about her character. Like, Megan Good is a good actor, but this is one movie by her that does just not showcase her acting skills whatsoever. On to Grant, who is Megan Good's ex-boyfriend. I'm sorry, April's ex-boyfriend. The dude that everybody on campus wants to date. And I don't understand. Like, first of all, this dude was not all that freaking cute. I'm sorry, he just was not. He was a butthole. Like, he was an anus, okay? This guy was a freaking anus, and I don't know why everybody wanted him. Like, literally, I hate this part of the movie so much. It always got on my nerves when I was a kid. I had no business looking at this scene when I was a kid. But he literally was at a college party. He grabbed a girl and started letting her twerk on him. And April saw it and said something to him about how it was wrong, and he tried to make up an excuse for like what he did was okay, and her friend tried to make up excuses for what he did was okay too, and I was just like, no. One thing about him, his only characteristic trait is that he's just a misogynistic idiot. He wasn't the smartest. He always liked to pick fights. He treated his girlfriend like crap. He barely knew her. He just thought she was pretty. And I feel like the only reason he was with her is because she was the advisor's daughter. So he felt like he had some kind of power with her being with her. Advisors really don't have that much control in college now that I think about it. This movie really had me thinking that advisors ran the school. This entire time I thought her dad was the dean. He was just an advisor. I was like, Stomp the Yard. Are we Sears? Other than him being a misogynistic idiot, he was boring. I literally forgot he was in this movie 40 minutes in. Like, cause he just kind of like disappeared after they broke up. And then he came back at the end because he started dancing all crazy and he stole the other team moves. Like, hey, they stole our moves. Like every dance movie ever. I never even realized that till now. Yeah. My closing thoughts on Stomp the Yard. Overall, it's a pretty boring movie. This movie didn't age well at all. When I was a kid, I thought it was the most interesting thing ever. I thought it was the deepest movie ever. I thought I was grown when I watched Stomp the Yard. And now that I watched Stomp the Yard as a grown person, I can tell you it did not age well. Now that I think about it, I loved this movie as a kid. Now that I think about it and I rewatched it, I don't like it. I don't like it. The only memorable thing about this movie is that Chris Brown died within the first 12 minutes of it. And that's because that's the only thing y'all talk about from this movie that came out over 10 years ago. And I blame you, Tariq, for why this is the only thing people remember out this movie. Soundtrack go hard though, I don't care. The soundtrack is great. Just say what you want about Stomp the Yard. It may be a trash movie, but with a great soundtrack. Like 2020. Okay, 2020 is honestly not all that way bad, but it slapped a little bit when it comes to the sound. Me being a college student who has lost my interest in dance, part to blame because of PMDD. I really lost my interest in the entire thing, and I kind of just want nothing to do with it, and it doesn't entertain me anymore. It doesn't excite me anymore, and I miss it. I miss when I used to love dance, but now it just does nothing for me whatsoever. And also, like I said, I'm a theater major. I'm just there for my major and the music and all that, into filmmaking and whatever. When it comes to college, frats and sororities do nothing for me. I don't care about Greek life whatsoever, so this movie does nothing for me. As a kid, this movie really excited me a lot because, like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and I remembered that my teachers and whatnot will always try to tell us about how exciting Greek life is, and always like encourage us to join sororities when we were younger and whatnot. So I thought that was just the way to go. I thought when you went to college you had to do that, and I thought college was really going to be like this, and I thought it was going to be fun. And like, I knew nothing about college or high school for all that matter. It was just strange watching this movie, thinking that this is how life was going to be. My life to, like, in high school and college to be like Stomp the Yard. That is so freaking weird to say. But once I got closer to high school, like in middle school, I still did kind of care about being a sorority and whatnot because I was still watching this movie all the time at my cheer camp. But when I got to high school and I actually started learning about a lot of stuff, like I'm trying to keep a lot of my opinions about fraternities and sororities to myself, because I know a lot of people get really angry when you say anything about them, and I don't want those people attacking me. So I am like suppressing a lot of my feelings right now, but just know I'm not really here for them. The more I learned about them when I got in high school, because when I was in college I literally wanted nothing to do with that. When I was in high school, I realized that's just not the way to go. And it's just not what I want. I also kind of don't care about having that entire college experience that everybody raves about, like getting drunk and getting high and going to parties and going to games and this and that and the third. Like I do like me a good basketball game though from time to time. That is fun. I like going to like the music events and things like that. That's just not how I am. But I never really cared too much to have that whole college experience. Like I'm literally just here to get my degree and go. I'm here to make a few friends in my major and go. I'm pretty satisfied with the way my college experience is going now, with the few friends that I have made, the connections that I have made, the events that I have gone to. I'm pretty satisfied with my little quiet college experience, and I don't want anything like it to be anything else. If you guys want to see more of me, check me out on Patreon. And that's pretty much it for this video. Yeah, Stomp the Yard's not a good movie. Do I recommend it? Do I? I don't really know. This isn't something that I will go out of my way to tell you to watch, but it's also not the worst thing ever. If you just need something off of background noise, like if you want a good soundtrack, turn it on, but you might get annoyed with all the boys shouting at each other because it is really annoying. But yes, like I'm telling you, like, don't watch it, but I'm also not telling you to watch it at the same time. I don't know. See it for yourself. Rewatch it now in 2020 and tell me what you think about it, because I personally think it's booty. Thank you guys for watching this movie. I'm so tired of Atlanta movies making us look bad because, yeah, college ain't like that. I love you guys so much. Go follow me on my socials and whatnot if you want to stay connected with me. And yes, I love you guys with all my heart. Thank you guys for watching. And yes, have a good night.
Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt. And Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA. The Powerpuff Girls are just